electronics that are working. All right, good evening, everybody. And thank you to our guests, Mayor. Thank you for having everybody here tonight. Thank you for your proclamation. To friends, family, we have Corpsmen here, Navy, Army, most especially Marines. Happy birthday to you. We heard the Commandant of the Post mention that, one of the sayings of the Marine Corps, Semper Gumby, and there's also two other things that the Marines are known for, that are constant and continuous. One is camouflage, and the other is chow. So please start eating. Please dig in. Please start eating your salads. But pay attention to me, all right, as I go through my remarks. So 10 November 1775, the Marine Corps was born in Tun Tavern, and what I've heard called the only good idea to come out of a bar and fill it. But for the Marines who are here in this room, it's from the 1960s all the way to today, and that's a lot of service. That's nearly 70 years of service, nearly a third of the time of the Marine Corps. And it doesn't matter for the Marines here, if you serve for 4 or 40 years, you still have inside you that sense of pride, that sense of accomplishment, and just the feeling that it gives you from the first time that you were handed your Eagle Globe and Anchor. And I can prove it to you for those who are not Marines. And you may have noticed it in the video as well. When somebody asks you, they're like, oh, you were a Marine, and they ask you, hey, what are the Marines doing now? What's going on with this? You never say they are doing this or they are doing that. You say we. We are doing this. We are doing that. Because it is our Marine Corps, and we have earned it. It is ours, and we are a part of it always. It is our legacy, whether we are on active duty or off. And another thing that I saw in the video that I had never seen before in the Commandant's message was the acknowledgement of our families, and long overdue. So please, if you're a spouse of a Marine, or a mom or dad, or you have somebody in your family who's in the Marine Corps, please stand up. And a round of applause, yes. It is your commitment, it is your honor, it is your courage that makes the Marine Corps great. Thank you for what you've done. Now, those of us who served in the Marine Corps, and there's some what we affectionately call graybeards here in the audience tonight. And it doesn't matter when you serve, for those of us who have taken off the uniform, we all have two common thoughts that run through us. It doesn't matter what era we served in. One is, thank God social media didn't exist in my first port call. The second is, on all of our discharge papers and our retirement warrants, there's wording to the effect that says, at any moment, at his or her pleasure, the Commandant of the Marine Corps could call us back to active duty. And we've all seen this before, when something's kicking off in the world, and the Marines are out there, they're kicking down doors, and they're taking the fight to somebody, we all secretly hope that the phone will ring, and the Commandant will ask us to pick up a weapon and stand side by side with the Marines one more time. That is something that we all have. And while sadly that dream will likely never come true, what the Commandant does expect of us is that we will carry on our honors and traditions. And we saw it here in the video tonight. I've been to a lot of retirements, and I'm sure a lot of folks have as well. And they usually read off a letter from the Commandant or the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. And in there's words to the effect of, maintain your connection to the Corps, because our collective legacy depends upon it. And those are the watchwords of the Marine Corps League, especially here in Ellis County with Detachment 1452. And those are words that they live by. And we heard earlier that they do things in the community. They help veterans, they help families, they're raising money to put back into the community. They're giving it, and they're doing these things not because they are easy, because it's what's expected of us as Marines. And it's part of our legacy. Marines will know this, the seminal book, First to Fight, from Lieutenant General Victor Krulak. He listed in this book 3 reasons why America, not why she needs a Marine Corps, but why America wants a Marine Corps. And there's 3 reasons he gave, and we tick all the boxes as Marines. The first reason is this: when there is a crisis in the world, the Marine Corps will always be ready. Check. Number 2, when there is a fight and the Marine Corps goes into battle, we will win. Not some of the time, every time. Check. Number 3, the Marine Corps is fundamentally good for the soul of America, because we have an unfailing alchemy that can take disoriented youths and turn them into Self-efficient, self-reliant, and strong and stable citizens into whom the affairs of the nation can be trusted. And that is what the Marine Corps League does. They are carrying out the duties of our nation, even though they have taken off the uniform. And they're carrying on that legacy. And it's a legacy that was born in battle. In 250 years, the Marine Corps has earned their reputation in battle. Specifically, I'll give an example. In August of 1950, during the Korean War, as America and our allies were pushed all the way back to a toehold at the Pusan perimeter, and they were hanging on for dear life, defeat, and moving backwards every single day. And then they started bringing ships to evacuate American forces and give the peninsula over to the enemy. And suddenly, the 1st Marine Brigade shows up. And they throw them into the front lines. And a British officer who observing, and he's just watching these Marines head up to the front, and he reported back, quote, these Marines face impossible odds. And although I cannot substantiate it, I feel that they will halt the enemy. These Marines have swagger, they have strength, they have confidence and hardness. And on this thin line of reasoning, I cling to hope, end quote. And the Marines that day in Korea earned their battle streamer, just like Marines have done before, and they have done since. And if you go to 8th and I in Washington, D.C., where the Commandant lives, and you see the official battle flag of the Marine Corps, there's 55 streamers that are on that battle flag, going all the way from our founding all the way to today. But there's a couple streamers on there that mean something a bit more to folks in the audience tonight. There's one streamer on there that's green, black, and gold. I'm sorry, green, yellow, and gold. And stitched on it, it says Vietnam. And there's another streamer with 13 stripes that is black, green, and gold. It says Afghanistan. And these aren't just strips of cloth. These aren't just streamers that hang on there for good looks. These are things that we have woven our very being and our very fiber into. And our stitching, our efforts have been in there. As long as those streamers remain on that flag, that means our contribution and our legacy will be there forever. Just like the imprint of the Marine Corps will live with us for the rest of our lives. If you go to Arlington Cemetery, and there's a grave there in section 2, and it looks like any other grave that's out there, small white headstone, unobtrusive, and it says Michael Mansfield on it. This is probably something you've never heard of before. Michael Mansfield, he was born in 1903, he ran away from home in 1917, at the age of 14, joined the Navy. They found out he was too young, kicked him out, he joined the Army, they kicked him out, and the Marine Corps said, we'll take you, and he joined the Marine Corps. And he served for 2 years, from 1920 to 1922. And he was an old China hand with the old breed, and he got out as a private with his good conduct medal. And then Mike went back to his home in Montana, and he worked in a mine to put himself through school. And he earned his bachelor's degree, his master's degree, and his PhD, and eventually became a professor at the University of Montana. Then he answered another call by seeking elective office, and in 1942 he was elected to Congress, and he served in Congress and the Senate from 1942 until 1977. He was the longest serving Senate Majority Leader in our country's history. And then from 1977, that wasn't enough for Mike. He was handpicked to be the ambassador to Japan, where he served in that post for 11 years. The longest serving ambassador we've had in our country. And during his time, nearly 50 years of high political office and service to his country, he earned every accolade. He was handpicked by FDR to do a secret mission to China during World War II. Hand-selected by Harry Truman to sit as the first ambassador to the United Nations as that was getting started. Personally invited by Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, one-on-one to get his thoughts about what to do with containing communism, equal rights, the Civil Rights Act, rights for women, the economy, all of these things that he did. When he passed away in 2001, his funeral was attended by the highest ranking people in our country. Eulogies poured in from heads of state from around the world, extolling Mike's virtues. He earned every award, accolade, medal from around the planet, and including our own country. And yet, when you read his headstone, this is what it says: Michael Mansfield, Private, U.S. Marines. That simple word, that simple thing, that's what defined Mike. If that's what he thought. He only served 2 years, but he retained what it was to be a Marine with him for the rest of his life. And that imprint was on him, just like that imprint is on us. Where we know that the best parts of us, our grit, our determination, our self-reliance, were forged in the fires of the United States Marine. And we now carry that banner forward. Even though we may not wear the uniform, we carry the flag forward. We have that swagger. We have that confidence. We have that strength and confidence that the Marines had of the past, and that is our job now. And because we were born in a bar, I find it fitting that as I end here tonight, that we raise our glass in a toast. No need to stand up. Would you please raise your glass? The toast is to the Marines of the past, the Marines who served beside us, and the Marines who stand guard for us now, to the core.
To the core.
To the core.
Thank you, everybody. Happy birthday, and Semper Fidelis.
Whoop.